Well, and please understand that, that I mean this in the most positive way, but I'm curious, since this has been, and we talked about this at the stakeholder committee meeting, and understand that, I mean, it's appalling. But if you've got photographs that go back 10 years, so you said there was some discussion at that point about
there were some letters, to my knowledge, there were some letters that were sent out at that in the early 90s, and so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so I'm trying to think. So when you brought your property, or others did, how were you thinking that this was going to work? Was there some kind of thought about somebody was going to correct this, or how do you approach that?
Well, that's a good question. It's a fair question. At the time, obviously, at that time, I had no idea the magnitude of what erosion does, or how quickly it can happen. And I was told that there was a project, or a project had been completed in the 90s for that, and at the time, it was pretty much still there, to my knowledge, because there hadn't been any movement for a long time.
So it looked stable.
So it looked stable, and again, I'm not an expert. It's my first home, and obviously it's a little sour right now, but that's instead of being sour and negative about it, you got to move forward and find a way to rectify it. So that's my goal here, and honestly, I'm not going to stop until it happens. I don't take no very well. I'm a bulldog.
I think we appreciate that.
Yeah, and the pictures are very helpful. We had verbal descriptions and
visual really helps.
Right.
What are you talking about in terms of remediating the problem?
I don't know that I have an answer for you today. We're trying to understand what the solution could be and what the cost could be. But what we've been able to tell the homeowners of Pepperdine to date is really what we've told them to date is we really need them to come to the rate process and inform the rate commission about this issue, because this is really an eye-opening issue.
We're definitely sympathetic.
I understand that. I understand that. But even assuming that the rate proposal passes, and assuming that it collects the money over a period of years, I mean, they should be intrigued by it, right?
Right.
So what are you proposing that we do? Since we have no, I mean, we don't understand what to do or how to do it. And we can't do it.
Why?
Well, that was one reason. I knew you all knew of the problem. You've seen it, you've heard.
I want to go up there.
Oh, okay. I don't have a proposal because obviously I'm not the expert on the subject.
Maybe I could intercede here and see if we can get a report from Brian and Jeff by next meeting, and explore maybe if we have to hire to do preliminary stages. And I know we're on the verge of getting the tax rate passed, and if that's the pass, maybe they could be the first project in this. Could we maybe look into preliminary studies, or who owns the property, and answer all these questions by next meeting, and just to be on the path of initiating a design, preliminary stages, or whatever we have to do to move forward with it?
Let me just add to that everybody's sympathetic to your plight, and I think Mr. Rosenberg said it very well. The first thing you have to do is take a look at who all the potentially responsible parties are. And we have to have a legal opinion as to what our responsibility is, if any. When I say ours, I mean the district. And we're certainly willing to live up to the district's responsibilities on it. But I think we right now are in an information gathering mode, as Mr. Karam has indicated. So let us do that with as much dispatch as we can. But you all may have some, responsibility here too. I mean, we're not just, you understand, we're not just a social welfare agency just because a terrible wrong is taking place. We have to get an opinion as to who all potentially responsible parties are, and then we have to have almost a communal-like effort to see what can be done to resolve the situation, what the best kind of solutions are. But it's a serious problem. We're willing to do our part to help investigate it for you. And would urge you to do the same on your own behalf.
Well, it's very frustrating for us. I know it's far more frustrating for you, but when they see, obviously, a huge need like this, and we right now know that we don't have the resources to deal with it. It's just, I mean, we have to, I guess we just kind of think outside the box for right now, see if there's some way we can get some help, to get something to help right now, because the only thing right now we can look at is hopefully down the road we'll get the money to do it.
Well, hopefully so, hopefully sooner rather than later. I recognize that you guys are the board of trustees and as such. You understand that trust is given, not arbitrarily, trusts are not arbitrarily given. And we want to trust you with the most important investment of our lives, which is our family. Our families who just happen
It's
to
your
live
biggest
with us.
investment,
Well,
and we recognize that, and I think,
our families are. Our families are, who live in the homes that are being affected by this.
Right. We can't do anything without a legal opinion before we even start, and based upon the facts.
Yeah, well, we're just requesting that you do, and we appreciate you
Yeah.
listening.
Well, again,
we wish it would have happened before. It
Try and
did.
help you any way we
Now
can.
you get that opportunity.
and again,
But we have to act within our limits of our responsibility.
this is really the first time we've met you all. We got the letter 3 weeks ago, actually 2.5 weeks ago, probably at the April board meeting. So I think it's moving along at a fairly rapid clip for what we're accustomed to seeing.
That's fine.
I'd ask you to just continue to keep in dialogue with staff. You are more than welcome to come at a monthly meeting to, voice your concerns if we're not moving fast enough. But I think the 6 of us are going to stay on top of, certainly Jeff and the staff. So I've got to believe that you'll start seeing some action, but a lot of parties involved.
We look forward